Class, please do ensure that you pay attention, for there will be a pop quiz injected into the lesson. Now, where were we? All right, class, please. Everyone take your seats and let's bring the volume to a minimum. Thank you. You in the back, take a seat. Thank you. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is take roll and ensure that I have the right students in front of me. So, do I have Jack? Perfect. All right, Jason. There you are. And Rebecca. Perfect. Carissa. Carissa absent again. All right, and you. Who are you? Really? I don't see you on my roster. Are you sure you have the right class? Really? All right, and your first and last name? Okay. Are you a transfer? All right. Well, welcome to the class. Hopefully you have your proper materials needed. Perfect. All right. And the rest of you, I'll just assume you're all here. And with that settled, let's go ahead and begin with today's assignment. If you are attending this class, I can safely assume that you, in the very near future, intend to embark on your very own future in the world of Minecraft. It is our job as an institution and my job as a professor to adequately prepare my students for the adventures and, more importantly, dangers that might await them. With that said, today's assignment and the lesson will be covering enemy NPCs, also known as mobs. So if you would please turn your Minecraft manuals to page 76. Each of you should have your notebook and pencil for note-taking. There will be a pop quiz, as usual, interjected within the lesson. You can refer to the board ahead in order to get a visualization of any of the materials or topics that are covered today. Are there any questions before I begin? Perfect. Please do remain attentive. So, one of the first things that we need to cover is what a mob is and what are the variety of behaviors that can be observed while in the overworld. Of course, we have 3 realms in Minecraft: the overworld, the nether, and the end. We will be primarily focused today on the overworld, but for any of you pupils who are a bit adventurous, we might delve into some of the other dimensional beings at the end of the lesson. Now, most mobs occur only at night or spawn in a relatively low light level, but some might even spawn during the day. The first mobs that we will cover in today's lesson are neutral mobs, or mobs that may not attack the player, like yourselves, unless provoked or enraged in variety of other ways. The first neutral mob is the spider. A common mob, if you refer to page 77, you can see exactly what I'm reading from here. Of course. Hey, are you falling asleep already? Am I boring you? Class, what is the consequence again for falling asleep in one of my lectures? Precisely. A demerit. And what does a demerit gain you in the world of Minecraft? Yes, Jason. Of course. The loss of the bonus chest, of course. So I do say I would pay attention if I were you. Now, where was I? Oh, all right, the spider. Yes, the spider is a very common neutral mob. It is not hostile while within the light or a light level, have you, that is above 11. However, it will become hostile in light levels at 11 or lower. So if you are in a very shadowy forest, a cave, or undercropping that provides low levels of light, I would tread lightly, for they might attack you. Once aggravated, they will continue chase even into the light. So once you do aggravate a spider, I would either deal with it swiftly or make a run for it. Now, they can climb walls, blocks, and other obstacles, and may leap from obstacle onto you if you are within their vicinity. They are, of course, immune to poison damage, so I would not try to utilize that as a attack strategy. The variant cave spider, however, is found only within mine shafts and applies a deadly poison with its attack, so make sure you do have an antidote or other means to deal with such a nasty condition. Moving on to our second neutral enemy, the wolf. Now, many of you might indeed be familiar with the wolf species and with its capability of being tamed and used to assist you in combat or to guard your shelters. If you refer back to our previous lesson on simple shelter building strategies, you will know that placing a tamed wolf within the vicinity can provide innumerable benefits. Wolves are most commonly found in packs of 4. They will not attack unless provoked, and they are found in 9 different species, depending on which biome you encounter them in. The species are pale wolf, woods wolf, ashen wolf, black wolf, chestnut wolf, rusty wolf, spotted wolf, striped wolf, and snowy wolf. All variations can be found in distinct biomes, and some more rare than others, but they can all be tamed and serve the same use to you as protection or just companionship. In order to tame a wolf, you must offer them bones, most notably dropped by enemies or found along your journey. A wolf who has been tamed will be denoted with a red collar around its neck, so you may always know that that is your special wolf friend that has already been tamed. Of course, a tamed wolf must still be satiated with meat or other bits of food that they enjoy in order for them to maintain happiness and health. For that, please refer to the full wolf care lesson on page 96 in your manual, but that is for another time. Next up we have the enderman. Yes, the enderman can be quite foreboding looking, but not to be too concerned with. Are you paying attention? I'm watching you. Now, where was I? Yes, thank you, Jason. Star pupil, as always. The enderman is only hostile to a player if looked at directly in the eyes, at its face. So as long as you are not provoking it by looking in its direction, you have nothing to worry about. Now, if indeed you find it necessary to stare down an enderman, they will move rather quickly and aggressively to attack, and may even move via teleportation. And that teleportation gets even faster in the daylight, so I would tread lightly and offer it the needed respect and not provoke it by being so rude as to gaze in its direction. Now, it also may appear in any area with a light level of 0, so they are most likely to be found in caves or at night. Next up, let's move to the hostile mobs. These are dangerous and aggressive, will attack on sight, and should be avoided at any cost. First up, the creeper. Now, the creeper is a common hostile mob. They will hide in dark areas and wait to sneak up on the player to explode with immeasurable damage. They also possess no movement sound, so they are quite difficult to see coming or hear coming. At that, they will also destroy structures or other surrounding blocks. So, as you covered in your basics of structure and settlement building, you will know that a creeper in the vicinity of your structure can be quite the nuisance and quite the emergency. So please do refer back to that lesson for strategies on building a structure that is creeper proof. But of course, moving on, they will chase any of you that encounter it within a 16 block radius, and once they get to that 3 block radius, they will begin the explosion effect. So you must be sure to flee quickly or avoid them entirely. One interesting thing about the creepers, however, is that they are very afraid of cats and ocelots and will flee their presence, so having a few tamed ocelots in the area can help ward off those pesky creepers. Now, next we have the skeleton. The skeleton is a additional common mob, often found at night near forest or really anywhere where the light level is 0 in which they spawn. They are most well known for performing ranged attacks via bow and arrow in order to strike their opponent, in this case being you. So, yes, Rebecca, I know you have had several unfortunate encounters with skeletons, so maybe you can offer the class a bit of advice on how to avoid them. Oh, that's okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I will go ahead. Now, as I'm sure Rebecca was just about to say, you should know that skeletons are capable of climbing ladders or traversing other obstacles in order to get to you if you try to flee. So it is best to either maintain a very wide berth when avoiding them or deal with them quickly and swiftly. Now, referencing our wolf friends earlier, we mentioned that wolves are tamed via a gift of bones. and skeletons do drop bones upon death, so if a early tameable wolf is something that you desire, I would perhaps seek out a skeleton or two in order to collect those bones necessary for the taming of your new friend. Alright, and moving on, we have the zombie, the classic and typical enemy mob of any Minecraft server, the zombie. Now the zombie, of course, is very common, spawns once again at 0 light level, and may spawn within groups of 4. So they can be quite pesky if you are caught off guard or unaware of their presence in a cave or dark forest. They will hunt you down at a very long distance of 35 blocks. So they may see you far off even before you notice them, so do listen for their repetitive groans that can be heard at quite a distance. That can help tip you off to their presence and begin your retreat or attack if you are quite the adventurous spirit. Now, one thing about zombies that you should know is that during the daylight hours they will burn and eventually die. So if you can, or find yourself, I guess, surrounded by zombies and have no means of attack, you perhaps need to only avoid them until the sun rises in order for them to be destroyed. Zombies, however, may seek refuge in caves or under a shade of a tree in order to avoid the burn, and therefore might become quite an obstacle if you are traversing a dark forest. It is best to keep an eye out for any zombies who have sought refuge in that area. Now, the interesting thing about zombies is that they do come in several notable variants. First, we have the husk. Now, husk have an 80% chance of spawning in desert biomes instead of a regular zombie. They do not burn in the sunlight, so that avoidance strategy of waiting for that sun to come up will not save you this time from a husk. They also inflict the condition of hunger from their attacks, so make sure you perhaps have a snack handy if you intend on encountering them very often. We also have the drowned. Drowned zombies spawn in ocean ruins, rivers, or any usual spot within an ocean biome, or can occur when a zombie itself becomes drowned. The interesting tidbit about drowned are that they can swim and breathe underwater in addition to running on land, so quite formidable if you catch yourself in a soggy position. We then move on to baby zombies. Yes, well, they do appear quite cute. They are quite formidable and quite rare, making up 5% of total zombie spawns on a given server. They possess increased speeds and may even ride animals in the overworld and become jockeys. So I would keep an eye out for these pesky little devils. We then have zombie villagers, making up, again, a 5% chance of spawning in place of a regular zombie. They may also appear if a regular villager is killed by a zombie. So if you have some villager friends, keep a lookout for surrounding zombies in the area, or things might become quite hostile. Now, for some of you more hardy adventurers, perhaps you are thinking, this doesn't sound so bad, Professor. These enemies pose no real threat to me. Why should I be afraid of the world of Minecraft? Well, if, as of today, you are not afraid, let me tell you this. You will be. You will be. Just take a short trip to, perhaps, the nether and encounter a ghast. Not so brave, are we, Jack? I thought not. Perhaps you turn in your homework more regularly and you will feel a bit more confident. Well, again, oh, you weren't dozing off. Well, I don't think that's what I saw, but perhaps I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time. But stay awake. All right. So, where were we? The ghast. The ghast is a spawn in the nether dimension. It shoots fireballs if you are unfortunate enough to be within its range. It is immune to, well, most damage that you would assume you would use against it, and it can also float through the air and hunt you down inevitably. The good thing that you can use against it, if you are unfortunate enough to encounter it, is that it must maintain direct sight with the target. So if you are able to utilize some blocks or obstacles between you and the ghast, you might find yourself safe, but I wouldn't risk it. Perhaps you intend to venture into a nether fortress. Maybe score some rare loot. Think again, lest you encounter a blaze. The blaze is found only in nether fortresses and shoots 3 fireballs at once, so if you thought the ghast was bad, think again. It is immune to lava and fire damage and can fly if it can't get any worse. So if you weren't afraid, maybe now you have a small glimpse of what else is out there. Now, not to scare you even more, but maybe I show you the worst of the worst. The Ender Dragon itself, known to some as the final boss. It is the largest mob in the world of Minecraft and one of the most deadly. Found only in the End realm, it guards access to the End gateways and the exit portal back to your overworld and your precious structures of safety and that warm, cozy feeling of home. Well, in order to reach it once again, you must go through the Ender Dragon, posing a devastating melee charge, and as well as a dragon breath attack that ticks that ever so deadly damage over time. I think you should consider yourself lucky if you are given enough time to prepare adequately for this battle, and I would suggest not risking a early pursuit of glory by encountering the Ender Dragon unprepared. So, in order to not dissuade you from adventure too early, I say I will save the other, more deadly mobs for a later lesson. I think that is enough for today. I can see a glazed look in your eyes here. So why don't we go ahead and get on to the pop quiz and see how we have done today thus far. Go ahead and close your manuals. Get out just a writing utensil and a piece of paper, and we will begin. This will be a 10-question quiz. If I see you looking from left to right, up, down, or behind you, you will be expelled immediately from the class and receive a 0. When you are finished, simply turn your papers upside down and place your pencil on top. Are we ready to begin? Excellent. Question 1. Which mob attacks a player within a 35 block radius? Alright, question 2. Please do keep pace with the rest of the class. Question 2. What is the smallest mob covered in today's lesson? Eyes on your own paper, Jack. Last warning. Question 3. How many flying mobs were covered in today's lesson? Question 4. Which mob is most known for firing a bow and arrow when attacking? Question 5. How many wolf variants are known in the Minecraft world? Question 6. What zombie variant has the chance of spawning in the desert? Question 7. What percentage of zombie spawns are made up of baby zombies? Question 8. What is the radius in which a creeper begins to explode? Are you focused? Please continue to fill in the answers quickly, lest you fall behind. Question 9. What mob becomes hostile when looked at directly in the face? And final question. What mob becomes hostile if in a light level of 11 or lower? And pencils down. I hope all of you did rather well today. I hope to see great things from this class, and I have very high expectations for our performance on the end of year exams, and I hope that this information will settle in. This assignment needs to be handed in on the desk on your way out, and our next lesson on agriculture in the world of Minecraft will begin at the beginning of our next class period. Have a wonderful day, and do make sure you study the upcoming lesson. Thank you.